Hello again. We're going to talk about Sabbath, and this time I'm turning to Matthew chapter 12, where Jesus and the Pharisees have a bit of an argument about how the Sabbath actually works. To understand it, you've got to really look at it. When Jesus talks about, "I desire mercy, not sacrifices," he's pointing out that not everybody can offer the sort of sacrifices that the Pharisees are stuck on. You see, the Pharisees have a very rigid, very formalized view of what is required to do the Sabbath properly, and thus what is required to be good with God or righteous with God, and what is not. The problem, of course, is that not everybody has the money for the sacrifices. Surely not everybody has the ability to create a Sabbath routine the way the Pharisees do. Right? The Pharisees, their whole life is around religious things. And I feel like I can understand them because I am blessed to be a minister, and that means that taking something like a Sabbath is almost part of my job. The idea that I get to read the Bible regularly or pray regularly or meditate or whatever it may be, that is actually kind of part of the work of the pastor. It's of course the work of all Christians, but pastors have this special opportunity to do this, and then we might sometimes feel that others should be following these, even though they're not in the same position, and it's not reasonable to ask them to be. I'm sitting by a lake. I'm very blessed to be having access to a lake. I can come here when I like. It's calm, it's quiet, it's peaceful. But you don't need a lakeside residence to practice Sabbath any more than you need a lakeside residence to be a child of God, to be right with God. What Jesus is arguing about is the universal ability for each of us to worship God. He's saying that the Sabbath isn't just about rest, and it certainly isn't just about following a bunch of rigid rules. It's about a way of living that worships and honors God. And Christ is trying to point out to these people that while, yes, they are doing a good job of this in some ways, they are creating a wall or a barrier for others to be able to do it as well. And that's not okay. The role of the church isn't to tell everybody to go away, or they're not doing it right, or they're not trying hard enough, or they need to make more money or give more money. The role of the church is to help people come into the very presence of God, to know the love and the compassion and, yes, the mercy they have in His eyes. And so this week, whether you're practicing a Sabbath by sitting at a lakeside, or whether you're in an apartment, or whether you're going to struggle to get even 30 minutes of contemplative time, know that God sees the heart, He sees the desire, and He sees the mercy. The rest is just trappings. And we can be thankful for that, because there's always somebody with a bigger lake or a bigger boat or more money to give away or whatever. And that's okay, because we're all children of God, and He loves us all.